by Secret Service and law enforcement, and this was an event dedicated to freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press, and in a certain way it did, because the fact that they just unified, I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way a very beautiful thing to see. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons.
Good morning everyone. I'm just preparing masala for making cottage cheese veggie.
For purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now. Put out on Truth and put out on many other platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how the Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. They really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer and he's doing great. He's great shape. He is very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent, and we looked at all of the conditions of the place tonight, and I will say it's not a particularly secure building.
Preparing masala.
Now going to add. This is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's a much more secure
Bit of salt. I can already add it.
We need the bomb. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They wanted the bomb for 150 years.
Scrambled cottage cheese I'm making.
A little bit different.
Just chop this ginger.
Probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement. The law enforcement.
I'm just chopping ginger direct into the cooker.
Spoke with the mayor, and when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from their viewpoint.
So our spicy masala for scrambled cottage cheese is ready. Now we add this cottage cheese. I'm going to add.
In Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago. You all know that story. In Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that, we came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement. But in light of this evening's events, I asked that all Americans recommit with their hearts and resolving our difference peacefully. We have to resolve our differences. I will say, you had Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Conservatives, Liberals, and Progressives. Those words are interchangeable perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet everybody in that room, big crowd, record-setting crowd, there was a record-setting group of people. And it was a tremendous amount of love and coming together. I watched and I was very, very impressed by that. But you were First Lady and I were taken together very quickly, rushed. The Vice President, J.D. Vance, was here, was likewise beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted, law enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement, Marco had the same thing.
Our yummy cottage cheese with spicy masala.
He doesn't want anybody to have him, but he did get some, didn't he? And I think he also said that it was very impressive. So with that,
Add a little bit of these powder spices. I have added.
The man has been captured. They go into his apartment. I guess he was in
close the lid.
And he's a sick person, a very sick person. And we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told the representatives of the evening, they did such a beautiful job, it was such a beautiful evening. And again, they're talking about free speech in our Constitution. That's what it's all about, not just White House correspondence. It's really based on free speech in our Constitution.
Cooker to another gas.
We'll do it again.
And here I will chop this
bigger and better and
spinach.
even nicer. So I just want to thank everybody that was involved. I also want to thank the press, the media. And you've been very responsible in your coverage. I will say, I've been seeing what's been out. You've been very responsible. So God bless. I'd like to say, if you want to, we're going to have cash. And you're going to go on and we can ask, I guess we can take a couple of questions. I want to thank the First Lady for, that was a rather traumatic experience.
I have this.
There's a lot of action taking place up there very quickly.
Leftover dal and veggie. I will make wheat flour dal with this.
And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to.
I will add only that much of wheat flour, which one is required to make a dough.
But there was protocol. They said, please, sir. Because they didn't know there was a lot of action going on, and they didn't know could there be probably a loan share, but we'll find out. We'll find out very quickly. They have it very well under control. So I want to thank everybody very much.
This one is leftover dal. And I will chop spinach and will add into this leftover dal.
Tonight you saw the very worst and the very best of this country. You saw the very worst by the actions of that coward that the president just talked about. But you also saw the very best because you saw law enforcement do exactly what they're supposed to do. And you'll see the videos come out, I expect, very shortly. And you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including the one who was injured. This investigation is ongoing, but I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident, given the conduct, but as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges around the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy. The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There is federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them, and don't want to get ahead of the work that they're doing even as we speak. Director Patel and I were just on the crime scene a short while ago, and everybody there should rest assured that the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, Secret Service, everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here, and I obviously will lead the details of what they have learned.
Has already all the spices, onion and everything.
Thank everybody in this
So
room.
now I will add only salt, little bit of salt.
And I want to thank President Trump for his words, and I promise you, justice will be served. Thank you.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. President. The President's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, is better than 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and you know they
Only
know
that
they
much.
And that is a
Wheat
changing
flour I
dynamic in
will
this country.
add.
That's why you saw brave Secret Service
Which one
agents
is
respond
required
immediately,
to
swiftly,
make
subdue and take
dal
down the
with this
suspect
leftover
and safeguard the
dal?
lives of thousands
Adding
of
little
individuals
bit of
at that
salt.
hotel. Thanks to our interagency
Now we
partnership
will make
with
a
the
dal
Department of Homeland Security and the Metropolitan Police
with this
Department, the FBI
leftover
was rapidly
dal.
deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response
If
unit,
needed, I will add little
examining
bit
all
of
the
curd.
ballistics that were found on scene to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there with the mayor and the head of the FBI field division there. But please know what the Attorney General has just said remains no truer. You saw the very best of America tonight. The very best unite us at a time of uncertainty because we have leadership here with the President and Vice President that backs law enforcement, and the men and women that I shook their hands on the scene today could not have been prouder to show up on the scene. And as the Attorney General said, make no mistake, we are conducting witness interviews. If you have any
Oh, I have this curd. We'll add little bit of
related to this event,
this
1-800
curd.
call FBI. 1-800 call FBI. No piece of information is too small no piece of information is inadequate.
This
We will
much of
evaluate
curd I
all.
am
We
adding.
will also be conducting interviews of those that were there. And if any of those individuals
If needed,
have
we can
information,
add
please
more.
come forward to law enforcement of the FBI, the Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started, and we are going to ensure that he was either a lone wolf actor or anyone else that was responsible. We will analyze all evidence immediately to make sure that we safeguard this country. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, thank you for your leadership, Attorney General.
This one is homemade curd. I have just made at home in Australia this homemade curd. So thick and creamy curd and fresh and pure.
It's very tough for her to ask a killer question, right? But you have done a fantastic job, please.
I appreciate it. As you mentioned, it all happened so quickly, and I wonder, especially because unfortunately you've had experience with these sorts of threats, in that moment when you realized there was a threat and service agents were telling us to get down, can you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that
Add
moment?
a little bit more.
That's a very good question, actually. It's always shocking when something like this happens. Happened to me a little bit, and that never changes. The fact that we were sitting right next to each other, First Lady, am I right? And I heard a noise, and I sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. I've heard that many times, and it was a pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. Reached the area, and they really got him. So it was quite far away, but it was a gun. And some people really understood that pretty quickly, other people didn't.
Our wheat flour dough with spinach and leftover daal mixing with curd is ready. We'll need little bit more.
Immediately what happened, she was saying, it's a bad noise. And
here in this cooker, our spinach, cottage cheese in spicy masala is also ready.
And again, the performance of the Secret Service and the police, both of the law enforcement, I thought was really good. So it was very quick. There wasn't a lot of time to be thinking because it was a matter of seconds before we were out the door and gone into an area. We very much, if you wanted to, we very much wanted to continue it because I don't like to let these sick people, these thugs, these horrible people
So this
change the
curd,
fabric of our life, change the course of what we do.
you can just have a look. This one is homemade curd, very thick and yummy, creamy. I will keep in the refrigerator.
I am ready, willing, and able, and I was all set to really rip it. And I said to my people, this would be the most inappropriate speech ever made if I said that. So I have to say that I don't know if I can ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight.
In my next live video, I will make yummy paranthas to serve with this cottage cheese,
Thank you very much.
veggie.
Thank you, President Trump.
I have it.
Let's
So you can join me
somewhere.
in a while.
What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much, because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, and they're very impactful people.
So you
Just take a
can
look
check
at the
this.
names here. The big
Our
names.
wheat flour dough with
I hate to say
leftover
I'm honored by that, but I don't,
dal and veggies
we've taken
along
this
with
country,
spinach
we were
and
allowed
curd
to
is
stop
ready.
years ago with a
And
heart
here
attack.
I will check my
Change
veggie
this country. And
that
there are a lot of people who are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
Your team for a while at Reba
Our
Do you think that you now
this cottage cheese veggie is also ready to serve with this paranthas. So you can join me in my next live video. Till then, bye.
we saw the video of how fast
He was moving. He was really moving. And the reaction time was great. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn literally by the time he was there. They were shooting. I thought they were very impressive. I thought they were very impressive. And if I didn't, I'd let you know. I'm not going to be, I'm not sad for that. No, I thought they were very impressive.
So thanks for watching, and see you in my next live video in a while. How I'm going to make yummy paranthas with this spinach and dal mixed dough. That's all. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
Very far away from me. I go through a lot. Yeah, we had